Our hearts beat to the city.
Hello, everybody. Glenda with Shaking Hands Art with Fralins and my friends. Tonight I'm going to paint another haunted house, but I'm going to do it different because this one has a story. I wrote a ghost story, but I'll read the story afterward. I'll do something. You ever drive past a house, or maybe you got one in town or something, where the paint's just really kind of just worn away? That happens after a while. And then it needs a whole new paint job. But with this being what it is, we're not going to worry about that. This is the story of the house of 10,000 ghosts. In every nation, sub-nation, and island, there must be at least one haunted house. One such place in the middle of America, one large and gloomy house held not one, not two or three, but 10,000 ghosts. A young man who walked endless miles in the country because his car had broken down found his way to a small cottage at the bottom of the hill. He saw the lights on inside and knocked at the door. Well, there's his car, and there's the cottage. An elderly gentleman answered. He already wore his robe and pajamas. "Young man, why are you here and knocking on my door at 9 o'clock at night?" "Oh," the young man breathed a heavy sigh. "Thank goodness you opened the door for me." The young man replied, "My name is Carl Mudd." He breathed heavy for a few minutes. "Pardon me, I've been walking for several miles. My car broke down a few miles back." "It sounds like you are in trouble, Carl," the old man said. "I am Mr. Grunge. Sit here in the chair by my door. I will get you some water and we'll talk about your problem." While Mr. Grunge was away, Carl noticed a large house a few hundred feet from the cottage. It also had lights, but they were very dim. When Mr. Grunge returned, Carl gratefully drank the water. "Mr. Grunge, I noticed a large house over here." Carl pointed toward the dimly lit house. "Is somebody living there?" "Carl, if I may call you that, that is the house of 10,000 ghosts. The candles are lit each night to welcome some unsuspecting visitor." Carl laughed for a moment. "Sir, who lights those candles?" "Well, Carl, I am the keeper, so I light the candles, or they will kill me." Carl laughed even harder. "Have you seen the ghosts?" "Only their sheets, sir. They fight nightly, throwing coals at each other and making a real mess." Grunge shook his head. "Spirits are not seen unless they have something over them. Our ghosts prefer sheets. I have to keep a large supply of sheets available constantly." "You're having quite a fun time with this story, Mr. Grunge." Carl laughed, expecting the old man to laugh with him. "Why do you call it the house of 10,000 ghosts? Each guest adds a new ghost." "I'm sorry, sir, but I'm glad I'm not superstitious, and I think you are having fun with me," Carl replied. "If you think so, sir, why don't you see if you can stay there a night and leave in the morning?" Mr. Grunge asked. "I am so very tired. If I paid you for a meal and lodging at the large house, would $30 be enough? It's not. It's all that I have with me." "I'll get you something to eat. If you aren't able to leave in the morning, I will take my pay then. Otherwise, there is no charge." "Right, sir," Carl laughed. The old man brought his sandwich and some tea. After his meal, the young man walked to the old house. To his surprise, the door opened easily. He was glad because he hadn't asked for a key from Mr. Grunge, and he didn't offer one. Carl looked around the old house, from the living room with its large fireplace to the kitchen and finally up to the bedrooms. He only saw one bathroom. He found a clean and inviting room. It wasn't very long before he fell asleep. He woke up to a bunch of noise. "Take this, you old spook," one man said. "Don't you throw that old coal at my husband," a woman returned. Curious, Carl got out of bed, peeked out the door. The voices were louder. There were many more of them now. Carl approached the top of the stairs, but couldn't see past the wall at the landing. He softly went down a few steps. All he saw was a white dress. Must be the woman, he thought. He walked a little farther, his eyes opened wide in horror. There they all wore white sheets. "Carl!" They drug out his name in ghostly fashion. "We hear your very silent steps and breathing. We even hear your heartbeat." The one who seemed to be in charge, if such a position amongst ghosts is possible. They all held hot coals in what must be their hand under the sheet. They flung the hot coals at Carl until they flamed and he burned where he stood. Now the house is no longer the house of 10,000 ghosts. It is now the house of 10,001 ghosts. I hope you enjoy your spooks tonight. That is it. And this is the last haunted house I'm going to paint this season. But I'm going to display a lot of stuff closer to Halloween. Oh, that was fun. That was so much fun. And I am going to go edit this video and upload it. And like I said, I'll probably take a lot of time out of the painting itself, but the fun is the end of the painting and the story. But I do want you to see part of the process. So I will see you tomorrow. I love all of you. Smile and wave. There's yours. Share it. And I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the